And one final thing before we kind of do a little bit more on the instrument part of it, when you would see kids that you knew were really talented but were just kind of wasting away, did you feel like you could intervene and be like, you know what, you have something, you need to use it, let me help you, push you along, or I need to push you because you're wasting this?
Well, I always taught with this philosophy exactly that, but I never spoke to them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, okay, Chris, you're doing the solo on this.
Yeah.
I didn't ask kids to do things. I said, you're doing this.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you're the band director, so you have the authority. Here, Mikey, you're doing this. And you walk away, and Mikey's going, what? And then they do it.
Yeah.
But I always provided a safe place for kids to fail in my classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And even in a concert, I'd never chew a kid out if he made a mistake.
Right.
Yeah, stupid.
Right. Well, I know that I certainly have, a memory of like when I was a sophomore, and so then a couple years older than me, there was, a pretty fantastic guitar player in his own style, but not in band, and I think you know who that is, Troy. And then he came to a concert in like a goofy outfit, and you're like, I can't let you play or something like that. You need to change. And I'm not going to change. His hair is out to here, and he had some other, thing on. It wasn't what he was supposed to have.
Yeah.
And I just remember that, and I was like, oh man, what's going to happen? But I mean, that's a kind of a prime example of somebody that was really skilled, but they maybe needed some direction, some guidance to be able to focus that.
Well, go back to Josh Christensen.
Yeah.
Like I said, I should have left him
Yeah.
in the parking lot, but I knew I couldn't because he was the only guy in the section that could play. Now, my friend Scott Previs did just that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd leave guys. They'd go to Chicago on the tour, and the bus leaves at 8:25. At 8:26, the bus left, whether his star player was on it or not. He actually kicked Jim Mayer out of his jazz band. Jim Mayer was a student at Mary under Scott Previs from Canada. He lived in Winnipeg and went home for Christmas break. But, the U Mary Jazz Festival was always January 30th. And so Scott said, all right, you guys, you're coming back from Christmas break 2 days early because we're going to rehearse this thing hard. We got all these famous people coming in. We're going to nail this. And Jim didn't show up for 2 days. He kicked him out of the band. He was the best saxophone player on the planet. Yeah. Kicked him out, They worked it out. Jim got back in, but boy, I mean, Scott just, no kid. Talent will get you nowhere in this world. It'll help. Mm-hmm. And I've had experiences where you've played the gig where there's the kid that thinks he's God's gift to bass playing, and nobody can stand him. I would much rather work with the guy who isn't as good as you, so I don't have to put up with you and your crap. I don't need you and your crap. And there was a kid from Mandan that was that way, and we started hiring him. But then after the third gig, nobody could stand him. And he was so arrogant. Play anything. But nobody needs that. Yeah. All he ever ended up was playing on a cruise ship because nobody could stand him. Yeah. But the nice guy over here who came early to the gig, hey, can I help you haul the PA? Hey, can I help you with that? Oh, God, thank you guys for letting me play with you. This has been a blast, I'll hire you again in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. And I saw that in L.A. a lot. It didn't matter how good you were. If you're if you're on time, and if the guy says wear a pink tuxedo, you show up in a pink tuxedo, he's going, thanks. You know that. Everybody. I'd much rather work with a less capable musician who's got a great attitude than that guy that just thinks he can walk in late or like you said, the girl singer shows up and sits there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and apparently it was like, they weren't feeling good, and I'm like, so if you don't feel good, you still got it. You have an obligation. Yeah, you're getting paid.
It's the gig. Yeah.
Oh, that is too funny. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you a guitar that I brought, and I don't want you to look at the headstock because it's not a name brand. Yeah. I want you just to kind of speak to, like, if I saw this and I kind of felt it and played it, what would be my impression of that? Yeah. Because gear, guitars, and if I would have had this, when I was going into high school, I would have had what I needed to be able to play versus here I have this Super Strat, which doesn't really fit much of anything except a Rock Band, which none of this is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so we'll go from there. And I know I've taken up so much of your time, so I appreciate it, and I'll kind of wrap
Oh,
this
this
up.
is fun. Oh, look at this. This is beautiful from the back. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know these guitars.
Okay.
These are beautiful. Where did you get this?
I got this off of Amazon.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's taking a chance.
Well, and I think that's kind of the thing, is that there are so many people that are like, oh, well, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go and get something that I've never played. And I understand that if you're spending like $1,000, $2,000,
Right.
that makes sense. But when this is not that
yeah.
kind of thing. This is a much more economic.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's been over a couple mountain passes and changes and all that, so probably needs some tuning or maybe a little bit more setup from all those.
How long have you had it?
Had for about 3 years. Done so many shows with this. But I just think that the competition for that kind of mid-level guitar, we're not talking a high-end guitar, but just a mid-level guitar that's made this way, this is, really, I find it to be great. It sounds the way I need it to sound, but for something that I paid, I get a gig bag with it, comes as is.
It is set up very nicely. This is feels. I like the flatness of the neck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a very comfortable guitar for me.
Yeah.
I think your bridge might be a little low. I hear some buzz.
Yeah, there's some buzz after 12th fret, so
Yeah.
and I think that's just maybe some seasonal changing, but I
Yeah.
gotta go and do some adjusting of the neck and whatnot.
Midwest is just brutal on these guitars.
But yeah, I mean, the reason that I can go and buy something like this is because this, I think I paid $230.
Is that all?
$230. And it comes with the gig bag and the guitar and everything. And then they have some other ones that are like about $180, but they don't come with a gig bag. But they don't have the binding around the headstock and stuff, and they're much lower quality. They're not a great instrument. Pickups don't sound very good. But these, I just find, I have another one that has a matte finish, kind of a satin finish, and I love playing that.
Boy, that's comfortable.
Yeah. So again, for if you wanted a 335 and not break the bank, you can easily get one of these. There's some other ones that are like 300 that have coil splitting and stuff, and I've never really gotten into that, but those also are really nice.
But it is the craftsmanship. Well, these guitars are this guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you been to Rock Solid yet?
Yeah, I have.
Isn't that a nice shop?
It is a really nice shop. Yeah, a bunch of Takaminis that are really nice, and some Ibanez. I think I don't know what the other brands were, but yeah.
Well, Matt, he owns it. He's a luthier.
Oh, okay.
He's been making guitars, really nice guitars.
Nice.
This is nice.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think if I was able to go and tell my younger self when I was looking for a guitar, I would have said the first guitar I would have got needs to be a Telecaster because it's small and you can do all the stuff, and it's a very good across a bunch of different genres. And then when I was going into high school, I would have said I need something like this.
Yeah.
But I was at that time, I know very clearly, I was looking at Guitarland, I'm like, I don't like, it's not cool. It's that kind of thought process. And if I would have known, like, well, you're going to stick with this for decades, get this now and it will help you long term.
Well, I bought my first 335 because of the band I was playing in. I needed the versatility. We were doing country, we were doing swing, we were doing jazz, we were doing rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
This guitar really, on a gig, can get you through just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really can. And so for me in the day, that was the most versatile instrument, which was the 335. Served me well during those times. I played it in jazz band.
Yeah.
You know, this gets a nice mellow sound.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Absolutely. So
I like this.
Yeah.
Very good guitar.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. Alrighty. Now, going on the other thing that you had mentioned about the jazz on the Seven Seas book project. Have you started that, or was just that kind of a
Not
drum
a
of
book.
an idea at this
It was
point?
a drum up an idea of writing. You know, somebody should be writing this. There's a lot of history in this town. The Ray Hyde Big Band.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Hyde was a BSc professor. I think he taught math. I'm not positive. I think he taught math. But he had the Ray Hyde Big Band. He was a bass player. And they played all the dances in the upper Midwest here. They were like famous.
Yeah.
And then Vic Lindlow, a doctor in town, had the Vic Lindlow Dixieland Band.
Okay.
He was a clarinet player, and Ray Hyde played bass in that. And then the same bass that he has. This is a cool story.
Yeah.
And then he had a stroke, and so then my brother, who played string bass, started playing in Vic's band, the Dixieland band, but he didn't have a bass. Well, you can use Ray's bass. Well, my brother eventually bought Ray's bass.
Oh, okay.
And years passed, and my brother doesn't play anymore. He's got some hand issues, and I can't play anymore. Well, my son bought it for his son, my grandson.
Yeah.
It's a nice bass fiddle.
Sure.
He plays it in orchestra, and we bought him a pickup for it. He play a jazz gig with it, you know.
Cool.
We did Country Sunday last week, you know, doing I Saw the Light.
Okay.
Will the Circle Be Unbroken? He brought that thing, slapped it, you know. So here's this bass that Ray Hyde, this famous Ray Hyde orchestra guy in Bismarck, played in the Dixieland band, and my brother played it, and now it's in my grandson's hands.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know, when you talk about old instruments, this thing is in great shape.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah.
So, but those things, some of the musicians that we've lost, you know, Bill Schmidt, great trombone player, jazz trombone player, Cliff Green, you know, that Kansas City tenor sound, you can't teach that. You can't. You know, and telling this Joel Land that I was playing this young tenor sax player that I'm playing this gig with, you know, I thought, wow, there's a lot of history in this town.
Yeah.
A lot of history from this area.
It's a
musicians.
fantastic idea to be able to go and preserve that.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of want to do the album.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of those guys are gone now, but I don't know if you remember Dennis Conley, the helicopter pilot.
Mm-hmm.
He's still playing.
Okay.
And he's retired, so all he does is practice, you know, and we've got to capture these sounds before, because we're all, I could go at any time. I'm 65 years old, you know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
just
I think
looking here. Here's my 350. My dad got me.
Oh, wow.
And there's me playing my Super 400. A bad picture. Clark Terry.
Yeah.
Herb Ellis.
Yes, I know. I was going to say that's who
Herb
that is.
Ellis. And I'm a freshman in college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm sitting here playing with Herb Ellis and Clark Terry.
Yeah.
And I'm going, ah! But we got done with that song at the BSC Jazz Festival, and he slaps me on the leg and says, "You know what you're doing, kid."
Mm-hmm.
I'm high as a kite right now, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, I know. Herb Ellis said, I know what I'm doing.
So this other one over here.
That's my Super 4, same one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a different picture of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it is a good looking guitar, and I like the P90s on this one.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I do wish I had that one because my dad bought it for me for graduation. But again, I wasn't playing it.
Yeah.
I'd just as soon get these in the hands of people who play them.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. When Herb Ellis came up to Fargo and did a clinic, and I got a chance to meet him, and that was, I mean, he was, you know, walking, just barely getting there, and then you give him a guitar. Oh, yeah. 10 years, it went away. Yeah, exactly. And I still also kind of think, like, boy, it would be you know, people talk about like the real book, and they do have versions of it, but it's not something that people talk about all the time. But they have like a funk real book, a kind of classic rock real
Oh,
book.
yeah.
But it's almost kind of like it'd be great for somebody to go and be like, we're gonna go and talk about like the standards for a bar band. You know, if you want to go and be in a bar band,
Yeah.
this is kind of what it's not just always the songs, but kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And different parts of the country kind of have different things that are more